Hello, Internet. Today is Monday, April 3rd, and we're a little bit over 1 week post show. So, if you saw my last video, I had a show, 9 days ago, I guess. I don't know, time is weird right now. But anyway, really awesome weekend, still kind of riding that high from the show. Felt really good over the past week or so just because I basically got like a little bit of a diet break during peak week, going in, feeding up, getting all those carbs in me, and then I had a refeed the day after the show. So, so if you guys have been following the series, you'll know that was just my warm-up show for the season. That was just show number 1 of 3, potentially 4, probably only 3. But went really well. Got a pro card, which was awesome. Did not expect that. Still kind of really don't feel like I entirely deserved a pro card just because I wasn't like super happy with my physique. But anyway, basically over the last 9 days, we have pretty much jumped straight back into prep. So I checked in with my coach the Monday after the show, and he put me right back on the same macros that we were at beforehand. So that's been a full week back on normal macros. Had a refeed as usual on Saturday. Felt really good for my leg session yesterday. Felt really good for my arm session today. And I checked in today, checked in this morning. Weight on the scale hasn't really been going down that crazy. I thought I looked leaner. I thought I looked leaner in the mirror for sure. But coach is like, all right, we gotta fight your body a little bit because it's fighting us. It doesn't want to lose that last little bit of fat that we're trying to take off of my hamstrings. So I got an update today. So new macros for this coming week are going to be 140 protein, 80 grams of carbs, and 36 grams of fat on my normal days. And then my one refeed, which I will probably take on Saturday, is going to be 120 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, and I believe 51 fat. So pretty big hit on macros there. Dropped fat, dropped protein a good deal, and dropped carbs on both days. And then I also got a pretty significant cardio increase. So I was on 45 minutes of low-intensity cardio 4 days a week with 2 15-minute moderate intensity. I am now at 4 days of 55 low-intensity and 2 25 moderate intensity sessions. So this is the biggest update I have gotten to my programming under Cliff Wilson ever. He is a really slow, small, incremental approach kind of guy. So usually when we're taking food down, it'll be like 10 carbs taken off of like my daily macros. So this was a big I don't want to say bump because it's not a bump. It was a big chunk taken out of my meal plan. 15 grams of protein removed, 10 grams of carb removed, and about 5 grams of fat removed every day. So y'all can do the math on calories there. But when I set up my meal plan in MyFitnessPal for tomorrow, I went ahead and tracked everything just so I know what I'm eating. I was a little bit under 1,200 calories. So we are getting on real poverty portions now. We are getting in the thick of it. And, of course, cardio has gone up as well. So we're going to be burning hella calories. But, all things considered, I'm feeling really good. I know that not every single day this week will be that way because last week I had some rough days too. But all in all, you know, I'm happy to be here. I really am hungry as hell to make improvements on what I brought at the last show. And I know that this next show is going to be a really big show and potentially a very competitive show. So I want to bring my absolute best, and I want to come home with a win. I want to come home with a pro card. That's the goal. And if that does happen, which, you know, at first I was kind of like, maybe we'll get a pro card this season, maybe not. Last weekend definitely boosted my confidence a little just because I got a pro card, even though I wasn't competing against anyone else. The judges thought that I had a pro caliber physique, so that really boosted my confidence a little. It also kind of put some pressure on me, like, oh shit, I got a pro card in this one organization. What if I show up at this other show and, like, don't do very well? Like, it kind of, I don't know. Anyway, I'm ready to fucking bring it. So, this video, I think that what I'll do is probably show you guys a full day of eating on less than 1,200 calories. I'll show you what I'm eating to stay satiated, to stay full, to keep that volume up, and to just, you know, make sure that I'm able to push through this last week or so. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning, and I will walk you through every single one of my meals. I'm going to show you a few awesome prep hacks, some food hacks to make things way more enjoyable. So yeah. Alright guys, it is Tuesday, April 4th. It's about 5:30 in the morning right now. I've been up for about 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and make my first meal of the day. This is typically my pre-workout meal, so it is my highest carb meal. And I'm going to show you guys a little prep life hack here to get a ton of volume out of oatmeal when you have 0 carbs in your diet. So for this little meal, you're going to need a couple things. You're going to need some oatmeal. I prefer the old-fashioned oats just because of the texture. You're going to need some riced cauliflower. And then you're going to need some egg whites. Alright, so step 1 here. We got about 20 grams of oats in there. And this will be about a half cup of water. So don't want to put too much water in there because we're also going to add that cauliflower. And the cauliflower's got a lot of water in it as well. So go ahead and put 20 grams of oats, half cup of water. You can scale that if you're using more or less oats. And then we're going to pop that guy in the microwave for about 2 minutes and let it cook. Alright, so we cooked those oats until they're not, I wouldn't say they're fully cooked right now, but they've started to kind of expand a little bit. So now we're going to add our cauliflower rice to this. So I'm going to actually do 140 grams in this meal. And then you just want to make sure you stir that up really good, break up any of the chunks, and then we're going to stick that back in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes. Alright, so that's what we're working with now. So it's not super watery or anything. You don't want to have too much extra water in there or else it won't ever like firm up. But the next thing we're going to do is add 50 grams of egg whites. Now, previously I was using 75 grams of egg whites, and I would say the more egg white you have room for in your macros, probably the better, just because it's going to make it thicker and creamier. So I'm going to add that in here. Make sure when you add these egg whites in that this is not super hot. So you might want to touch it, feel it, make sure it's not boiling. If it is boiling when you add the egg whites, it will cook them too quickly and it will kind of mess up the texture here. But so I said 50 grams of egg whites going in here, and then I'm also going to add a dash of coffee syrup. I'm doing a s'mores flavored. That's just going to add just like a little bit of sweetness there. We're also going to add some protein to this because I do have the macros for it, but I'm going to do this in a very specific way, so I'll show you that in just a second. Alright, so those egg whites are added, and make sure to mix it very, very well. You'll start to get like little bubbles in there, and once you stir it a lot, make sure that you get that all evenly mixed and start to have those little bubbles before you pop it back in the microwave. And this is obviously going to vary microwave to microwave, but I usually end up going for about 4 minutes. I'll start with 2, and then I will check it, stir it, and then usually have to go a little bit more. Alright, now while that guy is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and start mixing up my protein powder. Now typically if I'm going to make oatmeal, in the past I would just mix the powder into the oatmeal after it's cooked, but I found that if you do it like this, it is a much better flavor and a much better texture. So what I'm doing is I weighed out my protein in here, and now I'm going to add just enough water to this bowl to turn this whey
into basically like a pudding or a paste. Alrighty, so there we go. We've got nice little whey pudding right there. So just enough water just to get it a little bit runny. You can do it kind of depending on what texture you like best, but this seems to work really well for pouring over oatmeal. And then over here, oats are nice and fluffy and firm because of those egg whites cooking in there. And now we're going to pour this guy right over top of the oats and mix it all together. Alrighty, so that is the finished product. And when we mix that all up, that whey is going to mix in with the oats like really, really well. It's not going to get gritty like it sometimes does if you just make normal like mix, like dry protein mix in oatmeal. And then obviously, if you've got the macros for it, you can add some extra toppings. Yesterday I had the macros to add a little bit of peanut butter, which was awesome, but we're on poverty calories now, so this is all I got. But so the macros on this are going to work out to be 30 grams of protein, 23 grams of carbs, and 4 grams of fat. So pretty good amount of volume for such a low amount of food, low amount of carbs. And then obviously you can eat this without the protein powder on it if you need less protein in the meal. You can add more oats, you can add more cauliflower, you can add other toppings to it. You can really do whatever. But I mean, this is kind of crazy, like how the egg whites cook into this. Like you literally cannot taste that there's cauliflower in it, and there's like 2 or 3 times the volume that you'd get from just a typical serving of 20 grams of oats. So that is my little pre-workout prep hack for you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and eat that, go do my cardio, and then I'm going to come back and show you guys meal 2.
Alright, it is about 9:30. We are back for meal 2. So I did 25 minutes of moderate intensity cardio and then like half of my low intensity cardio for the day this morning because it was really nice outside. So I decided to just go for a 20-minute walk and get like most of it done. So meal 2, we are making omelets, and this is a $25 omelet maker that I bought on Amazon because I am physically incapable of actually making omelets in a pan. And this thing has been an absolute game changer so far. Highly recommend, but I'll show you guys what that looks like when it comes out, when it is finished cooking. Alrighty, so there are the omelets out of the omelet maker. Makes a pretty nice size little omelet, or I guess there's 2 of them, but the macros on this are gonna be 25 protein, 6 carb, 2 fat, and that's gonna be 200 grams of egg whites. I'm using egg mates instead, so it's like the fake eggs, but it's the exact same macros as egg whites. 1 Laughing Cow cheese wedge, 20 grams of onion, 30 grams of zucchini, and 40 grams of mushrooms. Alright guys, we are coming back for meal number 3, and that's going to be a protein shake. So it is about 11:30 right now. Just finished up with my clients for the day, so this is like my midday meal. So what we're going to put in this smoothie here is 10 ounces of unsweetened almond milk, 25 grams of protein powder, a dash of coffee syrup, I'm using vanilla here, 85 grams of strawberries, almost forgot, scoop of vanilla bean flavored greens powder, which this is, not only is it like greens, but it's probiotics, digestive enzymes, basically like a multivitamin, just like a full health supplement that I take on season and off season. And then secret ingredient here, just a tiny little bit of xanthan gum, so less than 1 gram of this stuff is all you need, and it's going to make it super thick and almost like ice cream consistency. Alrighty, so there it is all blended up.
And this texture is absolutely unbelievable, guys. So this is like very little like actual ingredients in here. Only 85 grams of strawberries, scoop of protein, and then the greens plus ice. But the xanthan gum, and I'm telling you, like, you only need a tiny bit, less than a gram, or maybe just about a gram measured out on the scale. Really doesn't add any calories, any carbs, nothing, and it completely changes the texture of this stuff. Absolutely unbelievable. So if you're not using xanthan gum in your protein shakes and smoothies, absolutely give it a go. Makes it super, super filling too. And the macros on this meal are going to work out to 21 grams of protein, 9 grams of carbs, and 5 grams of fat. And this is a super big 32 ounce, probably more than 32 ounce cup here. Super filling. Going to keep me satiated for a few hours. All about that volume. All about that texture. And it's super sweet from having a little bit of that coffee syrup in there too. So that is meal number 3. Alright, we are coming back for meal number 4. So this is going to be 60 grams of tilapia, 35 grams of avocado, and then 130 grams of cauliflower rice, as well as 80 grams of asparagus. So the way I do the cauliflower rice to actually make it like edible is I take the frozen bags and I just empty it into a pan with no oil or anything, and then basically season it and like fry it up until there's pretty much no moisture left. Otherwise, if you eat this stuff like straight out of a steam bag, it's just like soggy and nasty. But this actually makes it taste kind of like rice. And so also I'm going to put some mustard on here and then a little bit of shredded lettuce, and I'll show you guys the final product. Alrighty, and there it is, the final product. My mustard fish meal. I already ate the asparagus because I was hungry. So this is going to be meal number 4, and I'll catch you guys again for meal 5, which is basically exactly the same, but I'll just film it anyway. Oh yeah, and then the macros on this are going to be 20 protein, 13 carb, 7 grams of fat. Alright guys, we are back for meal number 5, and this is going to be exactly the same as meal number 4. So mustard fish with cauliflower and shredded lettuce and avocado and asparagus. Same shit, different time of day. But one of my favorite meals nonetheless. Very filling, very satiating, and I really like the way mustard, avocado, and fish taste mashed up in a giant bowl of lettuce and cauliflower. So give it a shot. Alright, and this is going to be meal number 6. So this is 180 grams of cauliflower rice, 60 grams of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, 20 grams of corn, 45 grams of avocado, 15 grams of chopped onion, and 60 grams of chicken breast for a taco bowl. And I'm going to go ahead and microwave this and then top it off with some shredded lettuce. And that will be that. Macros on this meal are 26 protein, 18 carb, 8 grams of fat. And that is going to bring my daily total to 141 protein, 81 carb, and 32 grams of fat. That's depressing. That is, let's see, yeah, under 1,200 calories. So it's getting real, and I've done more than 60 minutes of cardio today. But, yeah, that's that. Honestly, not feeling too bad. And I'm very satiated because all of these meals are super high volume. So that is how you eat to stay full and get shredded.